Have you tried teaching your dog commands but find yourself repeating verbal cues over and over and over? It kind of looks like something like this. Sit, 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 sit. Well, if that's you, you're probably teaching your commands wrong. In professional dog training, when we teach dogs verbal commands, it is extremely important that we have what are called non-verbal prompts developed first. This could mean visual hand signals or leash signals developed before we actually start using the words associated to the commands. In professional dog training, we actually teach dogs words last. This allows us to create clear associations with the words that we use and what we want them to mean. In this upcoming demonstration, you're going to see how we pair what we say with what we do directly after. And ultimately, this is going to make it easier for your dog to understand what specific words that you say mean. There's a rule in dog training that says you should only say commands once. Now, traditionally, people thought that you only said a command once because that's how much authority you need to have in that command. In reality, that's not really the main reason why we say things one time. The main reason we say things one time is so that dogs have an easier time associating what we say with what we do. Now, we've learned as adults that actions always speak louder than words. With dogs, it's important that we say something and immediately attach it to some type of action. In the last two videos, you guys have learned how to prompt certain behaviors using both visual cues and tactile cues. In this video, we're going to teach you how to associate your verbal commands with your tactile or visual prompts. To do this, we're going to go over similar concepts that we went over in the last two videos, but this time focusing on how we use our verbal commands. When focusing on our verbal cues, it's important that we understand that we're giving visual information all the time. So sometimes if my hands are up, if my hand is in my treat pouch, if my head is pointed downwards, all of these things can be considered leading signals that sometimes gives our dogs the wrong assumption. So what we're going to try and do is have our hands at our side in a neutral position, and when we ask verbal commands, we just focus on the verbal cue itself. I'm going to tell the dog a verbal command. Then I'm going to associate it to one of the visual or physical prompts that we use for that command. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, pigs. So, hands at my side, come to a complete stop, sit. Good. Perfect. Now, if she listens to my verbal command, that is reward worthy. Think of these as kind of verbal pop quizzes. When you tell the dog a word, you're trying to see if they remember what that word means. Always remember that dogs are learning English as a second language, and when we teach dogs obedience commands, we're actually testing their comprehension of what you're saying, as well as their ability to pay attention to what you're saying. In a command like this, it's really simple to prompt our dogs to sit. If you guys remember from the last videos, there's two ways I can do it. I can walk forward, come on, and I can give my dog a hand signal, good girl. Or, come on, I can walk forward and I can gently pull up on the leash. Okay? If for any reason my dog is not paying attention towards me, or for some reason didn't hear me, I can use one of those two prompts to get my dog to do the thing that I'm asking them to do. Now, a couple things to remember. Visual cues only work if my dog is looking at me. Verbal cues only work if my dog has the ability to listen and I have somewhat of their attention. But tactile cues work even if the dog is not listening or looking at you. So now we're going to more thoroughly go over how we say words and attach them to different prompts. If I want my dog to come to me, I'm going to say, Pixie, come, and then visually I'm going to walk backwards. So it looks like this. Pixie, come. Good girl. If she came to me, she can get a reward. Okay? However, if for any reason she's fixated on something, like food on the ground, let's see. Okay, free. And I say, Pixie, come. If she doesn't come, I can always pop at the end of this leash. Good girl. The most important rule here is to make sure that you do not repeat yourself over and over. It's easier for dogs to associate what words mean when we say the word and then we do what the word is telling the dog to do directly after. I'll demonstrate, okay? If I want my dog to follow me, let's say I want to go that way. I'm going to say, Pixie, let's go. Now, notice when I said, Pixie, let's go, I gave her a verbal cue, and then I visually walked away, and I left, right? This is how dogs can make very clear associations. Now, if I want to continue to move, come on, let's go. Come on. I can keep encouraging her to follow me, and I can change direction. Come on. Good girl. Here's one more example on how we use verbal commands in regards to teaching our dogs stability or teaching them to stay. Pixie, place. Good. Notice, I said place one time. I gave her the visual cue. She did it perfectly, and then I didn't have to say the verbal cue again. Bad technique looks something like this. Pix. Pixie, place, 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 stay, 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 stay. A lot of dog owners think that those repetitious words are helpful to the dog, but in actuality, if you guys have paid for your dog to be trained, you're actually just working extra hard for no reason. In fact, by you saying it one time and then using your visual and your tactile prompts to get your dog to do the behavior, you're actually gonna keep the word as strong as possible in your relationship. Now, when we're practicing the concept of stay in the home or in our yard, it's really important that we allow our dogs opportunities to make choices. This means it's important for you to let your dog make mistakes so that you can give them the proper feedback or cues to guide them towards the right answer next time. So during practice, it's important that you guys are natural. I want you guys to behave in a way that is natural to the environment. So if you're practicing this in your living room, do things that you would normally do in the living room. But the point I'm trying to make is allow your dog to make a choice. Anytime people repeat themselves over and over, it's actually because we don't think that our dogs are capable of making the decision. So trust your dogs. Let them succeed on their own and let them fail on their own. Worst thing that's gonna happen is you're gonna ask them to do it again. So in summary, it's important for you to make sure that you master your nonverbal cues first. Number 2, don't repeat your commands over and over and over. The more you say a word without following through or showing the dog what you mean, the more confusion you actually create in the dog's mind. And number 3, make sure when you practice your communication skills that you are acting as natural and as positive as possible. So after watching this video, I hope that those days of repeating yourself over and over are behind us. Make sure you guys have very clear visual and tactile cues to ensure that you can develop the clearest verbal cues. I really hope that this video was helpful for you guys. If you haven't seen them yet, make sure that you check out our visual and our tactile videos that have to do with dog communication. My name is Brent with CANIS Behavior and Training, and we'll see you guys in the next video.